Well, let's talk about Berkshire Hathaway first, because this is like one of the famous companies run, of course, by Warren Buffett. Everybody loves that guy.
Is he still alive?
He is,
I
I'm
haven't
afraid.
heard of him.
Well, no, he is for sure.
Okay,
I mean, he's what? How old is he now? He's heading into his late 80s.
Yeah,
mid-80s.
88 or something like that.
But let's talk about what it is that the group owns. It's got all of the insurance holdings. It's got a bunch of portfolio holdings in companies like Coke and so on and so forth. He's latterly become involved as a co-funder of some exciting new private equity teams like the 3G guys that are behind AB InBev. But this one is a giant, $371.64 billion worth of market cap. So it is in fact one of the world's largest companies. At that price, it's on a 14.57 dividend, no, not dividend, price to earnings ratio. Dividends, no dividends.
No dividends.
Mr. Buffett has always been of the view that he can invest better than you can, so why should he give you any dividends?
Funny enough that he regretted buying Berkshire back in 1940s.
Because it was like it was a company that owned some sort of industrial assets.
Yeah, well, it was manufacturing, and then on the other side you had milling and textile. So when the guys after World War I, things went pear-shaped, and then obviously he bought it at a bargain, and then he still complained about the share that he bought it at, and he said maybe if he had just concentrated just simply on the other businesses that he's successfully done well in, he would have probably made a better
But
return.
the core of the business is Geico, which of course is one of the largest players in auto insurance in the US. And he's used the float from that in order to invest in these other entities.
That's it.
But the other entity is a combination of bigger listed companies where he has a stake, like Wells Fargo, like IBM, like Coca-Cola, and that sort of thing. And then he's also taken stakes in things himself directly, including some US rail assets, and most recently a business called Precision Cast Parts, which is like a massive industrial company that makes turbines for jet engines. Astonishing.
That's amazing. He is also in American Airlines, so he's everywhere. He's put his money everywhere. The question is, obviously, that his legacy is so strong. How do these companies continue to exist after him? And that's always the challenge. I don't know if Charlie Munger's
his partner, is even older.
Do you understand? So, but Bill Gates is there as director as well. He's involved as well there. So,
and he's got a couple of younger guys like Ajit Jain, who runs his insurance companies.
Business,
And then he recently hired a few asset managers to look after small portions of the portfolio, like Todd Coombs and others.
That's it.
So he's kind of working on succession planning. He hasn't identified a key person who would take over if he were to become sick and ill.
No, he hasn't.
But let's just talk frankly here. If he were out of the picture, then in effect what could happen is one of two things. Either somebody credible emerges to take it further forward, the next generation, or it gets split up. And if it got split up, would that be such a bad thing? I mean, it would end up being worth more than the sum of the parts.
It depends who's carrying who. That's the problem with having this investment holdings company. So who's carrying who? Are they running on their own independently and all the companies are doing well? Or is there segments that are pulling the other guys? What's nice about it is it's like seasons. You know, when it's summer or spring, as it were, then some guys do well. And then when it's winter, some don't. And the others can do well. So it's all about pulling together. The concern would be the control that he has. How much influence does he have in terms of the whole operations? Are his managers, are his senior managers?
I think he's got massive influence.
And so therefore we have nothing to worry about before or post Mr. Buffett.
Okay, but it's a bit of a trophy holding. People like to say, you know, me and Warren, we're like this. You know, I've got a little stake there in Berkshire Hathaway.
It's like me and Jay-Z.
So, what do we say? I mean, would you be buying these? Would it be in the top 10 list if you're going global and you're looking at an investment portfolio?
For me, the company is saturated. So I like the underlying companies, some of the underlying companies, but I don't like this idea of a blanket approach into grabbing everything else.
It's a mixed bag.
It is a mixed bag, and sometimes that mixed bag you don't know what's in there. It could be tokolosh. So you want to take the things that actually count and invest directly in those, as opposed to taking the whole lot.
Yeah, so I think we're leaning towards not hot on this one.
No, sorry.
It's a bit tokolosh, that one.